If you are thinking about filing for Social Security Disability, watch this before you file. You are sick, you are scared about money, you may have stopped working, and now you are staring at one more giant thing, filing for disability. And so you freeze. You think, I need every paper first, or I probably do not qualify anyway, or I'm too young, or I'll wait a little longer. And that is how people lose time they may not get back. Before you file, you usually get stuck in 4 places. You mix up SSI Disability and SSDI. You think a diagnosis alone wins the case. You wait for a perfect file. And you do not realize timing can matter in very different ways depending on the program. SSI stands for Supplemental Security Income. SSDI stands for Social Security Disability Insurance. And in this video, when I say SSI Disability, I mean the disability side of SSI, not SSI age 65 and older. For SSDI, it is not just about whether you worked. It is also about when you worked. For SSI Disability, the issue is different. It is about your condition, yes, but it is also about income, resources, living arrangement, and filing date. So the question is, am I looking at the right program and am I still in time for it? So here is the relief. Before you file, get 5 things straight. 1. Know which lane you may be in. If you worked long enough and recently enough, SSDI may be part of the picture. If you have low income and low resources, SSI Disability may also be part of the picture. Some people need to ask about both. These are not the same program. 2. Do not count yourself out just because you are young. This is a big mistake. A lot of younger people assume they do not have enough work history for SSDI. That is not always true. For younger workers, Social Security can require fewer work credits than it does for older workers. And even if you never worked enough for SSDI, you may still be able to file for SSI Disability if your income and resources are low. So do not scare yourself out of calling before you even ask. 3. Separate the first call from the full interview. This really matters. The first call to set up the appointment is not the same thing as the full disability or SSI interview. On that first call, the goal is to get you into the right lane and not lose time. SSA may ask screening questions to see whether SSDI, SSI Disability, or both may be involved. That can include questions about work status, citizenship, and other non-medical questions. So do not be surprised if the first call feels personal. That is how they start sorting the claim. 4. If SSDI may be involved, ask about DLI. This is one of the biggest mistakes people do not hear enough about. If you wait too long, your insured status can expire, and then you may have a real SSDI problem, even if your health is serious. So when you call SSA to set up the appointment, ask the person on the phone, am I eligible for SSDI, SSI Disability, or both? And if SSDI is part of my case, what is my date last insured? You cannot reliably know that by guessing at home. You have to ask them. Do not sit at home guessing while the clock keeps moving. And timing matters for money too. SSDI does not just go back forever. SSI Disability does not pay for months before the filing date, so waiting can cost you. 5. If SSI Disability may apply, do not be surprised by the money questions later. This is where a lot of people freeze. During the actual SSI interview, SSA may ask about bank accounts, balances, rent, cars, and whether you give permission for SSA to contact financial institutions. And if you are married and living with your spouse, SSA may need your spouse's financial information too. A lot of people get shocked by that. But for SSI Disability, those questions are not random. They can affect eligibility and payment. Unemployment can count, cash from friends can count, and help with rent or utilities can count too. So do not be vague about money help from family or friends. SSA may ask who helped, what they paid, and how they paid it. And one more thing, do not wait for perfect. You do not need every paper in your hand before you start. waiting feels safe. A lot of the time, it just makes you later. Here is a very normal example. You get too sick to keep working. You think, I should file, but I'm only in my 20s. I probably do not have enough work. Then you wait. You keep telling yourself you need more records, more dates, a better explanation, a cleaner list. Meanwhile, nobody has told you whether SSDI is still possible. Then you finally call, and you realize the first step was never having a perfect case. The first step was asking the right questions before fear made the decision for you. Before the first call to set up the appointment, keep it simple. Have your basic contact information ready. Know roughly when you could no longer keep working, and ask, am I eligible for SSDI, SSI Disability, or both? And if SSDI is part of my case, what is my date last insured? Then, before the actual disability or SSI interview, build your real home base. Write one sentence that answers, what is stopping me from working? Make one clean list with your doctors and clinics. List the jobs you had in the last 5 years. And if SSI disability may apply, gather the basic money picture. That way, the first call does not overwhelm you, and the full interview does not catch you off guard. Here's the takeaway. Do not talk yourself out of filing before you even ask the right questions. Do not chase perfect. Do not let fear burn time. Get clear and start. If this helped, comment file below. And subscribe for calm, clear Social Security help that saves you time, stress, and wasted energy.